Ronni Kahn is a self-made woman who had a desire to give something back to the community. Noticing the amount of food being wasted and the number of people going hungry, she started up OzHarvest.
In a nutshell, OzHarvest rescues food that would otherwise go to waste. And so the food is saved from going to landfill and it's given to people who really need it.
Ronni was born in South Africa to a caring family, but as she got older, life there became increasingly difficult.
I could not live in South Africa and accept the status quo, so I left and went to study in Israel.
Ronni went on to live and raise a family in Israel for the next 18 years.
I'd been through many wars in Israel and I decided I needed to give my boys another choice. So it seemed like the best possibility was to come to Australia. From the day that I landed here, I just knew this was my home for the rest of my life.
I know that she wanted to make a contribution to Australia because they had given her such a wonderful opportunity to relocate and create a new life for herself and for her family.
She'd been noticing for a long time as an events producer how much food was left over at the end of functions.
I always knew that there were people who were hungry, homeless, but if I could take the food that I knew was there in our community and deliver it to those people, that it could be a good thing.
While visiting her sister in Los Angeles, Ronni was inspired by an organisation called Angel Harvest.
It was an organisation that was rescuing leftover food and delivering it to people in need.
Ronni thought the idea of Angel Harvest was intriguing. We're invited to bar mitzvahs and award shows, schools, corporations, picking up all this amazing food, and within an hour that food is free at the soup kitchens and shelters.
I said, Helen, what am I going to do now? She said, Ronni, you can go back to Australia and you can do nothing. You haven't committed to anybody to do anything. Or you can take my model.
And OzHarvest is the result of this wonderful chance meeting.
We started by contacting the various shelters and charities and homes and started collecting food.
It had quite modest goals, which was to take food from caterers and give it to homeless people. It wasn't saying we're going to eradicate hunger in Australia by any particular year. It was just working with a world that Ronni had seen and trying to make it more functional. It doesn't cost any of these businesses anything, and they get the feeling that they're doing something good.
We pick up from restaurants, cafes, Woolworths and Aldi stores, and we deliver as we go so that the food's not held in the van for probably any more than 20 minutes.
You know, they come around a couple times a week and pick it up off our hands and put it to good use.
It's such a simple, brilliant idea. It's using something that's already there, that's been completely wasted, and turning that into a fabulous resource.
In setting up OzHarvest, one of the biggest challenges was that food donors felt that they could not give away their food for fear of liability.
I used to ask all the time if I could send food down to Mission Australia, and I wasn't allowed to do it. And you'd have 80 meals plus, and you would by law have to throw them in the bin.
We managed to push to have the law amended to allow food donors to give food away for free without fear of liability.
The success of OzHarvest is incredible. They started at 4,000 meals a month.
By now we have delivered over 4.5 million meals. We started with 14 charities and now we're servicing 162 charities. We started with 10 donors and now we've got 700 donors.
Every major city in Australia needs a food rescue program, needs an OzHarvest, because we are completely committed to there not being food going to waste when there are people in need.
She has a real gift for inspiring others just by being herself.
Ronni is the most tenacious person you could meet, and you almost do anything for her to make her stop bugging you, but in a really lovely way.
She can't seem to understand the word no, or the concept of the word no, and her personality, it just seems to bring out the best in people.
She's an amazing sister, and she's an amazing role model for immigrants, for women, for having a passion and just following your passion and seeing it come to fruition.
The only way that more people are going to get fed is with people like Ronni. This is how this all works, is the Ronnies of the world see the need, want to do something, and make it happen.
Now it has nothing to do with me. It will always be there. Food will be rescued because of something that I did. And it feels amazing.